Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. May Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai's peace be bestowed unto you, hopefully elect. And your brother Yahweh call from Great Millstone, Orlando. And to pretty much add on to a previous video going into the divisions here in the West, Babylon specifically, as America more and more is crumbling from within, which of course that's good news for us, because the sooner this place goes down, the sooner we can be out of here. So staying on our watch, just being mindful of these things that's going on, while everyone, specifically Jake, 2/3, they're distracted. And as we are not ignorant of Satan's devices, seeing the groundwork for prophecies that come to pass, such as the civil unrest, martial law, and things of that nature. We'll go to this real quick. And as we should know, dealing with this chaos that's brewing, specifically the red states, blue states, as the deployment of these troops, which is starting in DC, and as Trump is saying how he's going to expand these troops or more of a military presence, mainly in mostly in these red state or Slocky, these blue states, which certain of these blue states, there's a bit of a pushback. There's this back and forth, the red versus the blue. I just seen the other day how, because I've been speaking on the whole redistricting out there in Texas. And you've got California, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is a blue state, is pretty much talking about how they want to set it up to where they want to make it a more blue state, getting rid of the Republicans. And on top of that, to add fuel to the fire, you've got Trump talking about suing Gavin Newsom for that move. All type of words are being exchanged on these social media platforms, because it's a divide. It's more of a division that's taking place. I also saw the other day going into Florida, out here in Florida, these Floridians talking about getting the Democrats out. And Florida's Ron DeSantis is talking about pretty much doing the same thing as Texas, just as far as trying to make it a more Republican state. So there's a lot of division, a lot of back and forth. Like I mentioned, Trump wants to put, or basically, as they're saying, take over these Democratic states, these blue states, And, you're getting pushback, a lot of pushback. It's getting to the point where a lot of these Democratic so-called leaders are low-key putting a vibration out there to stand up, to rise up, to come after these Republican so-called leaders, governors, mayors, and politicians. They're indirectly putting it out there. So the stage is being set for chaos. And to those of us in the know, that's why I would say, you want to get into you want some comedy, you want to watch some comedy, get into politics. Because we're just sitting back, eating our, spiritually eating our popcorn. And because like I said, man, the sooner these cats make their moves, the quicker America goes down, the sooner we can be out of here. So come on with it already. I'll go to this real quick. Bear with me. Jeremiah 6 and 17. Also, I set watchmen over you, saying, hearken to the sound of the trumpet. But they said, we will not hearken. Because, again, in the midst of prophecy becoming everyone's reality more and more. Because as I was mentioning in the previous video about, the thing about these troops, mind you, with these troops, the military, America's military, because, right now it's a thing of where, these military men, basically they're saying for these military men to giving the military the green light to carry their duty weapons and things of that nature, but to only use force as a last resort, which one thing is going to lead to another. All right. And as I keep saying, it's not going to be a thing of shoot first, ask questions later, because there ain't going to be no questions being asked. There's going to get to a point where these troops is going to get so chaotic. These troops, they're just going to be mowing people down. But once it gets to that point where, like I was saying, these troops, America's troops specifically, these are the mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, friends, family, and things of that nature. So that's why eventually it's going to have to be a foreign entity that's going to have to come in and do the job. And knowing these foreign entities, these foreign troops, how they already have a disdain for Americans, being that these Americans are proud as it is, it's not going to be nothing for these foreign entity troops to be mowing people down like grass. So, Tawadi Yahal Bashmal Shai, we've been given the basically the end product, so to say, as far as prophecy. We've been given the end result But we're seeing it play out. We're able to connect the dots, put pieces together and whatnot. We're seeing the events leading up to famine. We're seeing the events leading up to martial law, civil unrest, the MOTB, so on and so forth. So, again, that's why the importance of staying on our watch. All right. So, Lord willing, that day doesn't catch us like a thief in the night. But without further ado, I'm going to play this quick video, 2-minute video.
This morning, there are now more than 2,000 National Guard troops patrolling the nation's capitals. Some of them are now carrying weapons. It comes as President Trump is facing growing criticism from local officials as he threatened to deploy the National Guard to other major U.S. cities. Bradley Blackburn has more.
Armed National Guard troops were spotted Sunday in Washington, D.C. A military official tells CBS News that some service members, likely fewer than 50, may carry their service weapons. And the Joint Task Force in D.C. adds that use of force would only be allowed as a last resort and in response to imminent death or bodily harm.
When we're ready, we'll go in.
The escalation comes as President Trump has threatened to deploy the National Guard to other major cities.
I think Chicago will be our next, and then we'll help with New York.
Prompting backlash over the weekend.
The city of Chicago does not need a military occupation. It would be, again, a clear, flagrant violation of the Constitution and federal laws.
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson points to a 13% drop in crime in the Windy City since last year, according to Chicago police statistics. The president also took aim at Maryland's Governor Wes Moore yesterday, posting on social media, "If Wes Moore needs help, I will send in the troops and quickly clean up the crime." Moore on CBS News Face the Nation.
While the president is spending his time from the Oval Office making jabs and attacks at us, there are people actually on the ground doing the work who know what supports would actually work to continue to bring down crime.
The president described Baltimore, Maryland's largest city, as crime-ridden, though Moore points to police data showing that crime there fell more than 20% since last year. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
So just to show real quick, just a quick glimpse of, like I said, this push mainly against these Democratic states and how there's pushback. Like I said, a lot of words are being exchanged against these on these social media platforms, and it's just more fuel to the fire for what we know, as the scriptures say, going into Isaiah 19, the Civil War. That is, Lord willing, sooner than soon to take place here in America. I'm going to go to this, 2nd Esdras. Because I mentioned last time, what was that, last week, going into the whole redistricting in Texas and how, a lot of those Democrats, man, a lot of them fled the state. They left, got the hell out of Dodge, and fled to other Democrat cities. Trump was threatening to send the FBI after them to bring them back. Right? Trump, man, he's just outreaching. He's just using the military and the alphabet boys to his pleasure. We go to this in 2 Esdras 13. Esdras 13 and 31. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. So, again, lining that up with Isaiah 19, Egyptian against Egyptian, neighbor against neighbor, city against city. All right. Because, with this whole redistricting and things of that nature, because like I said, when I first spoke on this, it could be something, it could be nothing. And Lord willing, this is going to snowball into, this will lead to more and more of that snowball effect. More and more cities bucking up against one another. Babylon, America is divided, and is going to continue to divide from within. So one thing is going to lead to another, and all hell is getting ready to break loose here in America. I have another video that my brother, his page handle is Arrows of Indignation 144. He uploaded the clip, and I just went ahead and watched the whole interview. So, I want to play that part of this interview. And by the way, I want to, just fair use. I'm not making any type of monetary gain off of any of these clips or videos. This is just for informational purposes only. So with that being said, I'm going to fast forward.
Hi everyone, and welcome back. My name is Glenn Deason.
Just want to fast forward to the point.
They don't believe how toxic this is. If you're still using a plastic or wooden cutting board, you need to hear this. I never post stuff like this, but I had to share. I cook almost every...
Well, to be at Dealey Plaza at 1 in the afternoon on November 22nd, 1963. No smoking gun.
My last question is, I guess I have a very broad one, is what are you seeing being the main threats to liberty today in the United States, given this constitutional overreach and deep state? What is it that threatens liberty?
Well, the Congress refuses to do its job, and it lets the president, it cedes power to the president. That impairs liberty. Right now, he wants to become the police commissioner of Washington, D.C., Chicago, Los Angeles, and New York City. The courts don't enforce the Constitution as it was written. The military-industrial complex and the Zionist lobby have ironclad grips on the Congress, so the military-industrial complex still is the beneficiary of now $1 trillion annual budget, which of course is absurd. That's more than the next 10 countries combined, which includes Russia and China, of course. The absence of constitutional norms, all these things, and debt. All these things are going to bring down the American government, probably debt before the others.
So you predict the collapse of the American government within the foreseeable future?
The collapse of the federal government and the United States breaking off into, I don't know how many, a dozen or so smaller republics.
So the breakup of the United States as well?
Yes, because it won't be able to pay its bills. It won't be able to pay its salary. No one will want to work for it. No one will lend money to it. People to whom it owes money will be out of luck. It'd be like suing the Confederacy after the Civil War because you made them a loan. The federal courts wouldn't even hear the suits.
So, sorry, just one last question. Who do you think would break off first? Is it like Texas, or how do you see this fragmenting?
Well, this is just speculation on my part, but it would be regional, and it would be ideological. So, New England would probably be its own small republic. Texas would be its. Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida would be one. I don't know where my home state of New Jersey would end up. Probably wherever New York goes. But these are the things that will probably happen. I mean, people will wake up and they'll still be able to go to supermarkets and they'll be able to go to church and they'll be able to go to work. There'll just be no federal government anymore. Will someone move in on and take the place of it? Who knows?
And again, as I mentioned in the previous video, going into that movie Bushwick, which some watch for entertainment, but as we like to say, man, a lot of these movies, they're documentaries. In that movie Bushwick, they show you the different states. It started with Texas, but different states and how they branched off from American Union. And what did that lead to? It led to martial law being declared and the military takeover. Because, hey, someone's got to come in and someone's got to come in and run the show. You see? And, hey, man, Lord willing, Trump is the guy to set these things off. Like I said, man, this man is just using the military to his pleasure, the alphabet boys to his pleasure. And we're with it already. Do what you got to do already. But, again, America is weak. All right. It's crumbling from within. The division is set. The divide is set. And this could overall lead to grounds for martial law being declared. Right. Like I said before, man, it could be something. It could be nothing. But for God's sake, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbat, this Lord willing, this is that snowball effect that just leads to a complete disaster. Complete shit show. Lord willing, this shit gets out of hand. America's economy, this place is going to collapse. And once it does collapse, there's going to be a new system, a new way of living in the form of that MOTB. All right. Once the old system is completely done away with, the new system is going to be enacted. And because, like I said before in the previous video, whenever, for the most part, these elites, whenever there's some type of a black swan event, it's no coincidence you have these. So basically, the military is already in place. So, Lord willing, this is just one of those things where, hey, Esau, he's getting ready to make his move through the spirit of Yahweh Shemel on the left hand. That way, the military is already in place, already being moved into place, and they can go ahead and do what they need to do. So, Yahweh Shemel Shah, this is steps closer. I'm gonna go to this in Jeremiah 1 and 13. And the word of the Lord came unto me the second time, saying, What seest thou? And I said, I see a seething pot, and the face thereof is toward the north. Talking about America, all right. The divide in the west, this great divide in the west. All hell's getting ready to break loose here. Lord willing, sooner than soon. But this seething pot is at its boiling point. And this thing's getting ready to spill over. It says, Then the Lord said unto me, Out of the north an evil shall break forth upon all the inhabitants of the land. So again, here in America, all hell's getting ready to break loose. Militaries ought to be moved into place, the groundwork for the MOTB. Everything through the spirit of the Lord, the power of the Lord is the Lord is making major moves. Like I said, we've been given the end result. Yeah, martial law is going to take place. Famine is going to take place, but we're seeing the result. So like we're seeing it play out. We're seeing the details. We're living through it. We're living through the details. So, like I said, we just continue to sit back with our spiritual popcorns. Spiritually speaking, we got our popcorn ready, and we can just enjoy the show, man. But again, Yahweh Shema Shabbat Tazah, these things playing out, man, more and more. Esau is making moves. through the power of Yahweh Shema Shah on the left hand. And any day now, life as we know is going to be different. Things are getting ready to change for the worst. And that's why may Yahweh Shema Shah's peace be bestowed unto us, because we're going to need it. The Lord wanted this was edifying. All praises to Yahweh Shema Shah. Shalom to you, hopefully elect.